And good day, all you circuits out there, and welcome to podcast 55 of the First Circuit. And I want to introduce you guys to our wonderful hosts, Biter
Blarg.
and Old Bob 10025. Now, guys, listen to all the wonderful Battletech and Mechwarrior news, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Blarb.
All right, for this
Oh,
week's
sorry.
podcast, we have lots of odd pieces of news to go through. So the virtual MechCon tickets, the tournament supporter pack rewards, the TurtleBay event mishap, the weekend event and sale that's going on.
Yep.
The C-Bill and MC Mech release, the delay for a bundle for BattleTech Tabletop.
So sad about that.
This month's September's patch, and also an upcoming, they posted a roadmap for next month, October patch.
Yeah.
So lots of things to cover this week.
Oh,
Let's
there's
get
a ton
started.
of things. So I think first is a virtual tickets. If you purchase from MechCon, I do believe if you already purchased the tickets for MechCon, you or are going, you will actually get this as well too. So, but I mean, overall though, it's going to be really cool. We're going to go over that in just 1 second too. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead. There we go.
All right. Yeah. So if you're, we saw at least when MechCon was announced, they, selling tickets for those who are actually attending, but not everyone is going to hop across the pond.
No.
If you live in Europe, for example, to attend MechCon, it's quite a trip, particularly if it's on the west side of Canada. So yeah, if you're still a big fan of the game and want to support PGI in their endeavors like this, and I think presumably it comes with stuff like watching a stream and stuff like that, and just supporting the con in general, you can get the virtual ticket. But part of that is they want to incentivize people to get it, and they're giving away. The big thing I saw is like they're giving lots of flags, like 3 mechs to every chassis.
Yeah, I'm excited
like
about
it's
that.
a flag you mount on your back, I think.
I'm definitely excited about that, though, to tell you the truth. 3 flags per chassis. No matter if you don't even have the chassis, when you get the chassis, you get 3 free flags.
Yeah, so a way to think about it is a bit like you sort of have a warehouse where all your warhorns go into, and obviously warhorns can be equipped into every single mech, but with bolt-ons they're specific to only certain mech chassis.
Yeah.
So to your mech inventory warehouse, they're just shoving in a whole bunch of flags that could be worn by every mech that is currently in the game, and you've got 3 of them as well. So if you have like 3 commandos, you can put a flag on all 3 of them.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because just like with warhorns, there's only they keep track of each of the warhorns, or in this case, bolt-ons, which I find a little bit annoying. I wish a bit like with camo patterns, I could just unlock them.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about pulling flags off and putting them on mechs, because if you have 6 commandos and you wanted all of them to have flags, you can't. You have to fiddle around with flags whenever you're switching to one that doesn't have it, which is always a little of a nuisance.
Well, like I do like the idea of the flags, though, and I do hope later on in the future they'll be able to have, say, put different symbols, like have a creative flag or a Davion flag, something like that. That way it would look kind of interesting. Although I am against bolt-ons myself. I mean, I was totally wrong about that, like earlier. Totally wrong about that, because I'm like, yeah, it's be hordes of people with like gigantic bombs in their back and like cars in the back, like whatever basically. But I like the idea of this. It's just interesting and just kind of a cool idea. Kind of put more like aesthetics into the game itself and kind of make it a little bit more fun. But yeah,
the virtual ticket also comes with a standing item, a hanging item, and a warhorn, and you get 18.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Each of them. And I think the reason why it's 18 is, it's the current year, literally.
True, huh?
Yes.
That is so true. Now, how much are these actually? I forgot to check on the price on these.
The virtual ticket. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, here's the virtual ticket page. Hold on.
They say at least the warhorn will sound like bzz, bzz, beep. It's making lots of buzz noises. Who knows actually how good it is? As for the other items, you've got a mug with MechCon on it, and kind of like an ID badge, a hanging item that you're putting your mech. So the biggest thing for me though is possibly A, the bolt-ons, or the B, the war horns. It's not like just a paint scheme last time, I don't think.
Yeah, last year was a paint scheme, the like checker or like weirdo pattern that they had. But this year, yeah, I mean, for $10, it's not a bad deal. It's you get a lot of cool things to put inside your mechs and little hanging MechCon tag. That's kind of cool. And then the mug, the Warhammer, like obviously, but 18 of them, and then three flags per chassis. It should be interesting to see.
And all of this stuff will be injected into people's accounts on November 30th.
Yeah, yep.
So just before MechCon, I think.
And to let everyone know too, you can also purchase it as a gift. So you give somebody this virtual ticket. Make sure you check and see if they're going to MechCon or not, because they'll get it for free, like anyways. So,
but yeah, I wonder how that works. Like, it could be you try and redeem it, and it says, "Well, you already own this," and then you can figure out what to do with the code after that.
I wonder. Yeah, actually, true. Like, what did actually PGI do? That's interesting. It should be interesting to check out. Hey, Russ. Yeah, I can't do this.
All right, let's move on though to the next little piece of news, since we've got lots of bits and pieces to go through.
Yeah.
Is tournament supporter pack content has been revealed. And I think on this most recent patch, they've actually, we will get the decals, isn't it? Is it all of this coming this patch?
Yeah, basically every month they go ahead and give you something cool for $10. Like first you got the World Championship hanging items and everything else, and then every month they give you bonus things, and then also bonus seed bills for every event that they do for every event that they do. So it's a good deal. I mean, for $10, it's absolutely amazing. Plus 10% extra seed bills in itself. Really, really nice deals. And then if you have premium time, the same thing. I mean, literally, you get about 90% more seed bills in case you're like buying all the mechs like I do. It's like, oh, I gotta have this. It's like, but I'm so poor, I gotta go do more. So this will help you out, like on that. Then and then the decals will give you as well. If I can find it.
Yes.
There we go.
But basically, it is you're getting the usual kind of hanging item, standing item, and another war horn. Also with a badge, I think, as well.
Badges? We don't need stinking badges.
If only, as we suggested, they become decals.
Yeah,
you get a badge, you unlock it as a decal. That would be so cool.
Yeah, it should be a lot better, because I mean, literally, I don't look at badges like anymore now.
Yeah,
but the
decals they're offering, they're okay. A-okay, in fact.
A-okay. Are you sure it's not hazardous? Or
Okay.
Okay.
I think we've secured as much as we can.
Exactly. Okay, the puns. Nice.
All right. Next part is just a quick mention about the TurtleBay event. They actually closed the event off early, 24 hours, which is kind of a bummer actually, because I was looking forward to finishing it off on like Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
And it ended like on Saturday or something. So that was a bit of a disappointment. I just didn't play that day, and they had to try and figure out a way to restart the event and remember people's progress, because they kind of finished it all off. But I think it mostly went off without a hitch. And in fact, if you played games on the day that the event was supposed to be running, you got extra loot bag redeems.
Now, the only thing that pissed me off about this was, since it was extended down to Thursday, past Sunday, if you didn't play Sunday, because I was the same predicament as you were. It's like, oh, okay, screw it, I'm not gonna go play, whatever. You only get one loot bag per game instead of the two that you had for like over 100 match score. That's the thing kind of irked me just a little bit, because I had to play like 13 games to get the extra free mech. I was like, didn't want to do that, and I got the time.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's nice they extended the deadline. I think that is the way to deal with it. But I was pumped to do Mechwarrior Online on the weekend. I was kind of busy the rest of the week, so I kind of missed out on the extension. But it is what it is, and I'm glad that they made up for that mistake.
But that's one thing about PGI though, that they have done before. If they mess up, they'll make up for it. And that's a good thing for a company that go and do that kind of stuff. Because otherwise, do that. Mess ups happen. It happens in every game system. It's gonna happen in the future, no matter what game you do play. It's gonna happen, and then at least they fix it, and that's a good thing for PGI.
Yeah, my only criticism perhaps would be over the weekend, if you're the person kind of running this event, you have at least one look at the event and check if that timer is actually ending.
Yeah, no.
When it was supposed to.
True.
And if you see that, you should have sort of hopefully been able to try and rush into the office and change the
I gotta
number
fix
of just.
this.
But, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing
All right.
kind of screwed
Yeah.
me was just the one thing though. Okay, sorry.
Right. Moving on to the next piece of news was they for this weekend are doing a weekend warrior event.
Yeah, that was pretty easy to do actually. That was really easy to do. I think
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's nice and short.
I missed like 3 of them, like Scrapyard, Destroy 100 like opponents, and then the last 2, which was solo kills, and then the like UAV one. I missed those because I just wasn't dealing with it. But literally, you just play the game, you're gonna get these things. I think it's what 300 like MC, 300 MC, and then a bunch of like C builds. And also, if you for every one you do, for every one you actually do complete, you get an extra 250,000 C bills if you have the tournament supporter pack as well.
Yep. Lots and lots of little goodies to be earned with this event, and it's fairly approachable. Simple goals of just getting enough kills / KMTDs, getting 500 damage with each of the different weapon types, getting 10 solo kills, getting enough missile shot down by AMS. It's a whole smorgasbord of different things, and they're all, if you want to work towards them, fairly easy to do for the most part.
I mean, my first game for the AMS one, I got the 1,331 missile shot down, so it's pretty easy to do, guys. It's really easy to do. Any of these are really easy to do. Just play the game itself, and over time, you'll definitely be able to do it.
Yeah, they did the spot enough mechs with UAVs, but they didn't do shooting down UAVs. So I'm guessing you'll be happy with that, Bob.
I'm very happy with that. I cannot believe people have, ways to, based off the population, for them to do something in order for you to actually get something done. It just does not work anytime. And I'm glad they actually listened. Glad to listen to that.
I do sort of like the names of these particular little challenges, like via the missiles, go ballistic. I'm being helpful. Easy there, killer. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Oh, which one's that one?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner is the top one. Get 5 victories in any mode.
Oh God, that's from PUBG, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny. I actually didn't read those. I was just reading like what I need to do for the what I need to do for them, though. I didn't read what the names were.
Yeah, it's they only have so much to characterize these events, and whoever made them actually put a little bit of thought and heart into these things. Even if I'm one of the few people who noticed.
That's the thing that really makes about a game. That, like, say Fallout 4, when you're listening to 2 different radios, it actually has it on your left and right, the left and right speaker, depending on like how far you are away from the radios. Same thing with this. You put those little tiny details into the game. It's going to make the game so much better. And people over time will notice them, like Biter. And then Biter tells me, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And that's what makes the game so much better. Quality of life improvements.
Mm-hmm.
Scrapyard, not my match. These are interesting, actually.
All right. The other thing that came along with the Weekend Warrior event was the Burst Fire sales.
I enjoyed this.
This is another dropship deal, but instead of just sort of Innosphere light mechs, clan light mechs, and just all the various variants that are out there are already out there for C-bills, this dropship deal is for hero mechs. And you get a fair amount of like heroes for you're paying for. So like 5 you choose any 5 medium mechs for $30. And relatively speaking, like if you're buying MC and buying them in store, or buying them from the website individually, a single medium hero there would cost like $15 each. So instead of getting 2, you're getting 5. So it's a much very good value for money, and it's both tech bases. It's not limited to just Innosphere. You've got a whole smorgasbord of Clan and Innosphere lights, mediums, heavy, and assaults bundles.
So much better.
Choose from.
So much better. Like the Enforcer itself is 15, and the Nova Breaker is 15. So you're getting a lot more mechs for the money, man. That's awesome. I think this is one of the better deals that they ever did. To tell you the truth. God, it's so much better.
It's way more enticing than having things I could just get through C-bills. These are mechs with C-bill boosts with unique hard points that I can't get unless I spend money or take forever to grind the MC through events to to get towards. So if you don't own many of a weight category of hero mechs, you could get quite a lot of them with this pack, though. It somewhat drops off in value a bit the heavier you go, so you only get 3 assault mechs for $30. Now that's still better. Like each assault mech hero typically costs about, I don't know, $20 at least in game, on the website store.
Yeah, 25,
So
30 around there.
you're getting $60 worth with $30, so 50% off basically, at least comparing in-store values. But I think mediums and maybe heavies is probably the best value for money. But yeah, I haven't done all the math.
Yeah, I mean, are they listening? I just don't know. Basically, it seems like they're listening to actually the player base, and the last sale, just like we're talking about, the last sale was just garbage. You get to pick 5 mechs from the IanDresarie category. It's like, well, these suck, man. I want something else, type thing. It was just a horrible sales. This one,
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. I mean, I might actually fork over some money and go purchase some of the ones I don't have.
yeah. If there's 4 heavy hero mechs that you've had your eye on,
Yeah.
this is the time to pick them up for just $30. One thing I'm curious about, maybe they've updated it, but loyalty rewards, as we covered when the loyalty rewards
Yeah.
came out, the dropship bundles only counted towards the most basic level. Like if you bought an MC package, you're in. If you've bought any dropship bundle, you're in. So that's the thing that gets you the javelin. It's the most low level of rewards. It doesn't earn you a standard pack of any faction. It doesn't help you work towards any of the top tier rewards either. But here's the weird crossover. The top tier level rewards, if you've purchased 6 heroes or reinforcements,
does that count here?
Do these heroes count as heroes towards the top tier rewards? I'm feeling, my guess is probably they don't. I'm not sure, but that's a really interesting workaround or cheaper way to get these top tier rewards.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that though. Like, I'll have to do more research on that and see, because that'd be crappy if it's not, because the whole point about a loyalty like reward is actually spending money on the game. And so if you spend money, you get these cool free mechs, and obviously you're spending money, $30 for say 6 lights. You should be able to actually have that count towards something, towards the loyalty like rewards that you get in November, I think.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, at least I buy the standard pack of a lot of the packs that are coming out just to sort of support the game and try out the new mechs as they come out.
Yeah.
But that means I don't get anything towards the top tier. But if this counted, like you could go to the light mech bundle, you need only 6 reinforcements or heroes to get the top tier. So you choose 6 clan mechs, you choose 6 Inner Sphere mechs, you buy the bundle twice.
Yeah.
And for $60 you've got all the rewards. But I have a feeling, I haven't done any testing, but my feeling is it will only count as, the same level as getting an MC purchase, the bottom level.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, like, I'm sure they thought about that. It's like, oh, well, someone could just buy the 6 heroes and go get the top tier packs. And yeah, I'm thinking they thought about that, and it's not going to count towards it though.
Yeah, I still think it's really, it's sort of awkward balancing the things out, because you want to do the rewards to incentivize people to buy more stuff.
Yeah.
But you also want to just reward your customers and have this more be a feel-good exercise, at least to some degree in terms of PR. If someone's chucking $30 towards getting a whole bunch of hero light mechs, that is still quite a dedicated customer, and it feels sad that this thing doesn't in some way contribute towards working to get those higher levels.
Well, people should, I'm kidding. Basically, support the game. Even if you don't get this, just go support the game, because this is actually a good deal anyways. And as far as the loyalty stuff, I mean, in what, a year it'll be actually on sale for for the MC like later on, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at least what we could say for now is this pack is on its own at least a very interesting deal. You can get a lot of stuff if you're wanting to pick up hero mechs. This is a good opportunity. Otherwise, the more awkward way of doing it is you wait until there's an MC boost, like, you know, you get 50% more MC when you buy things, and then you wait for heroes to be 50% off in
Yeah.
store. You know, I haven't done all the maths, but I think that would be of a comparable level, and you're
Yeah.
not stuck having to buy within these certain categories. But you know, this, just in terms of pure convenience, is much nicer than than what the other way of doing things.
Now, the one thing we did notice, though, was a couple of bundles, like say the hero bundle or the heavy bundle has the awesome in there, which should be a assault. But from what we're talking about, it's probably not used as a lot, and so they want you to actually go and have a bigger pick from the mechs themselves on each type of tier, like light, medium, heavy, and then assaults. And so they kind of moved a couple mechs here and there.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of shuffling. So on the heavy hero mechs, you have you have the awesome, but there's also like the Black Ladder has been pushed up a category, whereas the Stormcrow as well has been pushed up a category, and Victor and Zeus have been pushed down. So usually, like if you want a Timberwolf, that's sadly in the assault category. So all the clan mechs, or at least a fair number, have been pushed up, whereas quite a few of the Inner mechs have sort of been pushed down. And I think they're just trying to diversify the loadouts and perhaps, you know, make it sort of more enticing. I found it interesting, like in the light mechs, for example, the Arctic Wolf is available in there. That's a medium mech.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, it is.
Along with the Dark Death, the Assassin, a medium mech.
Yeah.
And even in the mediums, there's the Dragon. Is there any? And the Rifleman.
yeah, I know. And also the Quick Draw too. The Quick Draw is a heavy mech, right?
Yeah, Quick Draw. Yep, 60 tonner. So even though this is called light, medium, heavy, and assault, they've been shuffled around a bit, which is a little bit confusing, honestly.
You know, I mean that's fine if you're looking for the for Legend Killer, which is an awesome mech. Purchase it. You know, basically purchase that pack. You get 5 medium mechs, and you know, get the Dragon if you want to, or the Crab, or whatever. Basically, and it works out good though. It works. It's a good deal overall, no matter what happens. I mean, just a crazy deal. The quarantine and the UZL.
Let's move on. That I think we got the idea that this is an interesting deal. Yep. Next part is 2 mechs have been made available for C-bills and MC. So the Sun Spider is available for C-bills, and that's the most interesting one. It means if you didn't get the Vanguard, the Christmas Hero Reward mech, you can now pick up a Sun Spider for around 13 to 14 million C-bills.
Yep.
It is an Omni mech, so you only need one variant. So if you do own the Vanguard, you can now buy all the variants separate Omnipods. You can actually mix and match your Omnipods now.
And then save your loadouts, and then just go ahead and, you know, just load them in and say, cool, I got all the parts for them, and just go do that kind of thing. It works out good. Don't have to worry about it. And the Fafnir, obviously, for like MC.
Yep, Fafnir is available for MC. It's 4,000 to 7,500 MC for the hero. So pretty pricey. You would only really want to pick these up when they're on sale, or buy just the pack instead. You're probably paying roughly the same amount.
Or wait for the 50%.
The Solaris heroes are individually available for MC. So the pack did give you a fair number of heroes, but of course they're all of kind of middling or variable quality.
They're okay.
There might be, if you really only wanted like the Mad Dog with 2 energy hard points in the CT, you could now get it for 5,600 MC, for example. Or of course there will eventually, because it's a hero, presumably it will be 50% off sometime in the future. So
I mean, most of these mechs are like, I mean, the only thing I really liked about these mechs was the paint jobs. The Firestarter paint job looks great, but it's kind of a crappy mech compared to the Firestarters themselves. But most of the times I just got them for the paint jobs. They look pretty good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I mock anyone who's in a Firestorm. It's just like, why did you take one of the worst light mechs in the game?
It looks pretty, man.
I do like the Street Cleaner because I put a max engine in that, and I'm a very fast Irby with lots of jump jets and a rack too.
Yeah, that's fun.
But at least if you don't have to buy the pack and be stuck with a Siren, because oh god, that thing.
Siren the Banshee one, really?
The Banshee, yeah.
I never noticed that. Actually, I never played that. I didn't play the Kraken. Never played the Rifle. Not played the Rifle. Never played the Griffin. And I think I used the Urban Mech once, and the Firestarter probably a couple times, and that's it. And the Mad Dog used once too. But okay. Yeah. So, anyways,
All right. So anyway, yeah, sans biodegradable C-bills. You can now mix and match your hard points, and it's an okay mech. Not that astounding, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is an ECM variant, of course, which means if your Vanguard now can become an ECM mech.
Yep. Good times.
All right, you
Next.
want to cover the last piece of little news, Bob?
Yeah, due to distribution problems with BattleTech, the board game, they've actually pushed it back. It was supposed to be in September, but now it's going to be in October, by the end of October, which kind of sucks. I've been waiting for this. I went for the Alpha Strike rules with the beginner box set to go ahead and use that with my wife there and go have her start playing. And now I gotta wait. I gotta wait longer and longer. And if you want to purchase the Alpha Strike rules now, they're like $150. And so if you can, just wait. It's coming out. They have really good models for this. I mean, just models are gorgeous. And the beginner set's only $20. And then the normal box set with like 12 models is like $60. So if you can, guys, just wait. It's coming. It's going to be here. And then once it does, it's going to blast off from there. So anyways, yeah. And that's BattleTech, the board game, the tabletop. Different news.
Yep. It's a pity, but it'll come out eventually.
Yeah. Well, like last year when they, debuted, it was like, oh, that's cool. When's it coming out? Next year. Into next year. I'm like, crap. I gotta wait till next year. That sucks. But yeah, it's coming out. It's gonna be pretty cool though. They're great models, man. I've seen the models. They're gorgeous. So it's gonna be good.
All right, so let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this podcast, which is the patch notes for this month and the roadmap, which tells us quite a bit of what's going on in the next patch.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, guys.
So next patch is Tuesday, as usual, September the 18th. We've already seen the tournament supporter pack stuff. There's more bolt-ons as always.
Yeah, I think I bought like one bolt-on ever since I started playing. So yeah, and that's it. The one thing that pisses me off about bolt-on, the Grey Death one. The thing that pisses me off about bolt-ons, it's a cool idea. I love the idea now, but it should be for all the chassis, not just for one, because it's really freaking expensive as far as like MC bills for that. So they need to change that in order to actually start selling some bolt-ons, because I haven't seen almost anyone use them. Okay, so that's my rant for the day.
I mean, it's kind of like the nuisance with Warhorns, where particularly if you don't own that many, and with bolt-ons is particularly the case since they aren't giving them away during events or anything.
Yeah.
You are kind of you're always pulling them out your mech and putting them in another one, so it's just a lot of needless busy work, honestly.
Yeah.
As it's their monetization model. I kind of understand it, and it's really hard to change it after the fact. But yeah, it's really not enticing when they're a very limited resource.
I do understand the concept. Oh yeah, man. Hey, you want to have a bolt-on for that one mech? You got to spend MC. I perfectly understand that, but that's business. But it just sucks. I wanted to use from all my chassis, type thing. Well, no, okay, just that one chassis, say Shadowhawk. I can move between my chassis like on the Shadowhawk line, but not like all chassis like Warhorns can.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the balance changes they're doing with this patch. Ultra 20s, so the Innisphere and Clan Ultra 20, along with the Clan Regular 20, are all getting a slight velocity increase, and their jam chance has been reduced by 1%.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, even with the Wolverine that has a 40% jam chance with like Ultra AC5, I jam all the time. Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be jamming that much, but I shoot it once, like, what the hell, man? I'm jammed. Shouldn't be like that. And I don't know, a 1% jam chance reduction. I don't know. That's just it doesn't impress me.
Yeah, it's nice, but there's so many issues with Ultra 20s at the moment. The incredible heat they generate, the high jam chance, because the bigger the UAC, the more higher the chance of jamming.
Yeah.
They're very short range. They're firing lots of pellets that spreads damage, and yes, the pellets were or still probably will be kind of slow.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a lot of risk getting really close, and then you can get those times where you double tap someone, you move into cover, you come back out, you double tap them, and you're managing your heat really well. But it also really sucks whenever it jams up, because you have to stop. It stops your whole brawling flow.
Yeah.
And it's It's a very awkward system to baby at close range. Still, the 1% chance is nice, I guess. But yeah, it as with PGI, they're going to do tiny little changes here and there, unless it's missile weapons and
Totally screw 'em.
with lock-ons, and then just go overboard with all the changes.
Like the narcs.
Yes. I mean, that cooldown change still so throws me off, because at least my playstyle was built around firing an alpha strike every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
7 seconds means it's every other alpha strike, which is just so it gets me out of my rhythm sometimes when I'm running in my narc mix.
Yeah.
All right. Next changes, a little small changes again, but micro lasers, so micro and micro pulse, are being moved to their own ghost heat category. This means there was the nuisance before. If you're running micros of other lasers like mediums, if you fire 6 micros and 1 medium laser, I think you trigger the ghost heat penalty from medium lasers because they're linked together. Now they've been moved to their own separate groups, so firing these tiny little weapons doesn't screw over. If you fire 10 micros and 1 large, the large says, "Oh wow, I'm firing 11 larges at once," or something stupid like that. I never really, people didn't really use micros in the first place, but this is a nice step towards making them somewhat usable, but for the most part they're most usable in Solaris and Scouting.
I don't know, like I've been using those and did a really good job with the Novas with the micro pulse lasers.
Scouting.
Scouting. So well, normal quick play, I tried it and it worked out okay. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't good.
It's okay.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't too bad.
They're so short ranged, it's incredibly risky, and the clans being made of paper. It's very tricky to get stuck in and really change the flow of battle when your other energy weapon options give a lot more range and play much more to the clan play style. But Ghost Heat has been moved to its own group.
Category. Yeah.
They are reducing the heat a little bit on these weapons, making the regular micro be slightly cooler than the pulse laser, rather than both being exactly the same.
Yep.
This just means they have a good, or at least a better damage per heat, which is nice. They were already in bulk, like when we played with the Novas, pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this just makes them really, really good brawling weapons if you're doing something like Scouting. There's not that many mechs to worry about, and it's all about that, quick, decisive brawl. The heat penalty level has been increased from 11 to 9. I'm not sure. I think so that you can fire like 1 more micro laser before triggering the
increased to 11 from 9 though. So yeah.
Sorry, 2 more. I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Still I mean it's still a good weapon for Scouting, just like you said, because 95% of Scouting is smashing into the other unit and doing as much damage as possible and legging them, and that's pretty much what Scouting is now. I mean, it's not really.
I'm surprised that if they look at the numbers, it's sort of like suddenly on when they did the faction warfare event, micro pulse lasers were just wrecking face, and they're like, we should buff that next patch.
Yeah, true.
I can't be too upset though. I wish you could fire all 12 in the Nova without any ghost heat, but firing 10 with no ghost heat means it's I could probably alpha strike over and over again with the less heat and be quite fine, actually, in those brawls.
I'll probably test it out later and go and see.
Yeah, so anyway, it's a niche weapon, a bit like with the UAC 20. They're trying to nudge them up, but micros already have the place, and now they're even better in their very small niche.
Well, the clan AC20 also got it increased from 750. I know there's an issue with the clan AC20. Like, I know there's something wrong with it, and a lot of people, a lot of clans are actually kind of upset about it. Does it fire like a 1 AC20 round, or
no?
Or 4 of them?
It fires 4 pellets, just like the UAC. Okay. It is a little cooler. It also is 1 slot larger. But now there is a minor benefit other than the heat. You have 50 more velocity. Yeah, rather than exactly the same velocity.
Yeah, that was the issue that people have with the AnDresarie one. It's actually just 1 pellet, and you shoot, you do 20 points of damage. But if they going really fast, and you have 4 pellets, you're gonna miss with those pellets and do less damage.
Yeah, I think the regular clan AC should be turned into something like solid slugs.
Yeah,
they become actually worthwhile. As it is, it's a change to a weapon system that is, for the most part, completely obsolete.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I don't think anyone I know actually uses clan like AC-20s. They always go to the UAC cannons, and that's it.
We don't see the clans take AC-20s in general,
No.
or even like UAC 20s, just because, well, the jamming, but it's just the clan playstyle. It's like you're generating so much heat with those UACs. You're much better off actually just using, there are other options.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, if in the Spear, at least up close, you've got AC-20s and Heavy Goose doing pinpoint one shot.
Yep. Yep.
Close range damage, and in the Sphere mechs are usually more tanky. So if you're taking an AC-20, do it on a Sphere mech.
True. True.
All right.
Next is Piranha.
Next set of changes are for the Piranha. Now this is just for the Piranha 1 and the Piranha Hero, which are the ones with the most often taken out. The Piranha 1, of course, has the most machine guns, and
Yep.
the Hero has a fair number of machine guns and energy hardpoints.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. The whole purpose of this was actually to make it so it's harder for piranhas to get close with assault mechs and kind of run around them and do hell damage to them. But literally though, like 9 times out of 10, I always see a piranha when assault mech's not paying attention, comes up his ass and shoots him in the butt. Basically, that's what I normally see. So this whole thing that they're trying to balance as far as acceleration, deceleration, and plus torso pitch, I don't think it's going to do a whole lot of like anything except for kind of piss some people off that really don't know how to use like piranhas, because most of the time you just run up behind them. You don't really go toe to toe with people.
So yeah, they're talking about circling and assault mech and all of that. Well, the turning rate angle, how fast you can turn your legs, is the same. Acceleration and deceleration only affects starting and stopping. So obviously, when you're trying to dance with them, there is a bit of starting, stopping, but at least for the average piranha pilot, they just run in a circle, and that plays exactly the same as it does before. You run towards the enemy at max speed, you run past them as quickly as possible, and you start circling them. And you just hold forwards and left, or forwards and right, whichever way you're going around, and you just orbit them. That will remain the same for the Piranha 1 and the Piranha Hero. If, however, you're trying to poke, waddle forwards and backwards, like bad piranha pilots often sometimes are seen doing, they're slightly more sluggish, and even easier to punish if they aren't doing the whole running around and doing figures of 8 routine.
I'm sorry, I had that wrong. Actually, it's actually for the torso pitch to hit certain torso-based locations on the heavier mechs, because they could run in and go up and shoot them at different locations. The heavy mechs can't do that. I'm sorry, like I was wrong on that.
So so acceleration, deceleration makes them more sluggish. They are reducing the pitch by a little bit. So instead of being able to look up 25 degrees, you can only look up 20 degrees. This actually can be quite a nuisance for the usability of these two piranhas, because sometimes there's at least a situation where you're behind an annihilator, he's on top of the hill, and you're kind of a bit below him, and you can't actually look up enough to see his torsos. You could shoot the butt, but there's quite a few mechs like the Javelin, I think, as well, can sometimes struggle when you're doing SRM brawling to actually look up enough at those really tall mechs and hit the torsos. If all else fails, though, if you're a piranha and you're circling someone, you shoot the butt or you shoot the legs, and you just kill them that way because you have so much firepower.
Well, yeah, I mean, 12 machine guns, 12 damage per second. I mean, that's, and it's not paying attention for like 3 seconds. I mean, you're looking at 36 points of damage to the legs. And a lot of people kind of skimp on the legs a lot of times and put their armor or I'm sorry, put the ammo inside their legs. They normally do that. At least I do. So don't hit me in the legs, guys. But yeah, that's what normally happens.
These are the better performing piranhas, and they are pretty scary with their agility and their firepower. So I'm not too upset about these nerfs, though then again, at least in regular play, you don't necessarily see that many piranhas anyway, because they are such glass cannons. It is so risky to get in and actually get your work done. I mean, one-on-one, if you play it right, the other guy hardly touches you, and you shred him to pieces no matter his tonnage. And that is crazy good compared to what other lights can do.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you towards a blob of enemy mechs, it can be really hard to get your time in with those machine guns at close range.
True.
And at least punishing these risk reward mechs, or at least the risk reward playstyle, is at least pushing. It's always pushing the engagement distances away and making it harder for those who really like to brawl.
Well, the thing is, though, like you look at this, so like the game is a team game, and so like a lot of times people just go off to their own things. They don't have the they don't have the mediums or lights protect the go protect the assaults, or have one dedicated mech as like, I will protect the assaults, make sure no lights get on you, that kind of thing. It rarely happens. So to beat the piranhas, you have to have some type of team cohesion to go actually make your team work. And one of the things is having a medium or another or a couple lights, and kind of just stick around the assaults a little bit, like if you can, like one or two of them, just to protect against the piranhas coming up you and shooting you like in the legs or the butt.
What I would say, at least in terms of perhaps my suggestions in regards to this particular nerf, is the overall philosophy of things. It's like, okay, yeah, the Piranha 1 and the Piranha Hero are much better performers than all the others.
Yeah.
So instead of bringing these mechs down, because nerfs really hurt and they make the game less fun, you try and bring the other piranhas up. So you increase the agility of the Piranha 2, the Piranha 3, etc. You give them more toys to play with, so that it's not just about taking the MG Piranha. It's about the MG Piranha hasn't got anything compared to the agility on the other piranhas.
No.
That would be, at least if you ask me, way more interesting and cool than nerfing it and making it. If you really like the Piranha 1, this just makes the game less fun for you. If you own a Piranha 2 and all the other piranhas that aren't these two variants, they're still not really that good. Why not just take the real ones, even though they're nerfed? So in terms of philosophy, at least, it's buffs feel great, nerfs feel terrible. Things we lose feels twice as bad as things we gain.
Yeah.
And with PGI's preferences towards nerfing things, this is what people are saying about the game feeling unfun. If you like piranhas, your favorite mech just got nerfed and all the others aren't that good anyway. Hooray, everything's mediocre.
Yeah. It's just a matter of just teamwork. A lot of people, like I said, just kind of go off to their own things and not really, they wonder why they lose, go and lose games. And it's a matter of actually working as a team to actually to complete your goal in order to go and do that. That's usually, teamwork's overpowered, guys. I can tell you this right now. If you have a team or a group of people that like to work together, that don't go off and like, I'm going to go over here and scout over here. Well, there's nothing over there. No one goes there. Well, I'm going to go over there now. You will work a lot better you will win more games. And if you sacrifice,
I'd just say, the Piranha, though, is a great candidate for team groups, because that Piranha 1, with all the machine guns, anybody could buy it. It's really cheap. It doesn't take much to kit it out, at least after you bought it.
Yeah.
And it's a really mean glass cannon. You wait for your moment, you work with your team, and you can get a lot of work done with that thing. And to that degree, at least, this little niche super killy light 20-ton mech is brought down a peg, sadly.
Yeah. Oh well,
Admittedly, at least, in comparison, fleas and locusts, they can't compare for the most part to the piranha.
Oh God, no.
Other than the flea for just pure tech, like you can have maskies. Yeah, that's
yeah.
All right. Moving along, mobility increases. This has been things have been testing in the PTS, and they said, you know what? Yep, let's roll out a whole slew of mobility increases to a whole bunch of stuff. And what I was saying about the piranhas is true for the Kodiaks. The Kodiak 3 was a huge contender for, like the huge standout Kodiak because of those 4 high-mounted ballistic hardpoints, and all the others are kind of forgotten about.
Yeah.
Well, a way to make the others slightly less forgettable is to improve them. And which is what they've done for the Kodiak 1, 2, 4, 5, and the Hero. The Hero will no longer have the terrible agility of the Kodiak 3. It will actually be the same of its contemporaries.
You're actually right on that. That is so true. I don't see the Kodiak 3 because normally people take it just for the ballistics. And all of the other ones that I think I don't have the Spirit Bearer, but I have the rest of them. And literally, when I look at the Kodiaks, I'm like, the 3. I'm gonna go with that one because all the rest of them are like, it's not really going to do much and can't do the damage per seconds and everything else. So yeah,
the Kodiak
that's a good
3
point.
has really cool hard points. You can do lots of interesting ballistic builds with it, and it's a very good poking mech. The others, of course, have much more awkward hard points. So giving them stuff like agility, quirks, this, that, and the other, and bringing them up to the Kodiak 3 level makes the game, or at least if you like Kodiaks. This is, makes them a lot more fun. Particularly, the worst thing is if you bought a Spirit Bear, they nerfed its agility after engine desync to the level of the Kodiak 3. It's a mask Kodiak. Its whole point was to take an XL400 and mask and be a really agile 100-tonner. And they stripped that from the mech. And it's tragic. If someone pays, $20 to get that hero add-on?
Yep. Yeah,
and
you're right.
PGI nerfed into the ground. Nerfing is not fun. Buffing is better. I mean, these are just small buffs, and the numbers they start with aren't that great. So when they say small increase and moderate increase, it's like my acceleration has gone from 5 to 5.5, 6 maybe. 6.
No.
Still, I can't complain. At least, my preference is you buff the things that aren't doing so well, and this is what they're doing. They're buffing all the non-Kodiak 3s. They're buffing Stormcrow, the Viper, the Adder, the Atlases, Thanatoses, the Hellspawns, and all the fire starters in terms of mobility across all attributes.
Yep, that's a good point, man. That's a really good point about that. That makes a lot of sense what they're doing. They're actually listening. They're actually doing and taking notes. So doing a good job. Doing a good job there.
Yeah, they have heard about people's complaining about engine desync and the problems it sort of caused. They're slightly addressing it, and things like the Atlas, they're doing a heavy increase to its turn rate and torso turn rate. Same with the Kodiak, its torso is able to turn quicker. So, Atlas, Kodiak, you're better able to aim those torso mounts, which was a huge pain before, and now they'll be slightly better. Same with the Thanatos. Your torso mounts will be easier to aim. I don't know how much easier. We don't have the numbers, but these torso-mounted mechs need it.
I think the numbers are on the patch update PDF. I think. Let me check.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, actually, right here. Yeah, right down there. So like the Kodiak. Oh god, yeah, the clan one's kind of weird. You gotta zoom in.
Yes.
Why do they do that? That's weird. Let's see the Spirit Bear. You're getting an increase of acceleration 4.61. Turn rate is a additional 2.3. So it's, they're actually doing pretty good jobs on it. And then each one's actually like individual, I think. No, actually, Spirit Bear is the only one that's actually individual. The rest of them are.
I mean, Spirit Bear, in terms of acceleration, at least, it's a 50% increase almost.
Yeah.
8.5, half of that, is roughly 4, and it's 4.6.
Yeah, exactly.
So getting up to speed, it's much better, because it was kind of funny. You put XL400 and mask in it, and by the time your mask meter has filled out, you've just reached max speed, and now you have to slow down again.
Oh, that's nice. Oh god.
So that would be a lot nicer towards rushing towards the enemy and doing some shenanigans with that thing, because after the engine desync, it's so sluggish it cannot brawl like it used to, and that is so sad.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely on that one. I used the heavy mechs the other day and the Kodiak 3, and I was like, oh my god, this thing is so bad to move, really bad to move and go shoot your weapons and everything. So I might actually start taking out the other ones just because of this the new patch, accelerations and everything. So good deal. They're listening. I'm happy about that.
All right, I think the last thing to cover the patch is the new mech. The Incubus is coming out.
Okay, hold on.
I think, isn't it?
No, basically, I didn't have that up, so hold on a second.
Yeah.
Yep, the Incubus. Yay!
Yay, the Incubus. They've done a countdown. Sadly, the quirks are not up yet, though. It's a clan mech, so don't expect anything too amazing. Particularly also with PGI's philosophy in regards to quirks. In a sphere, the heavily quirked guys are going to get 10% machine gun range and other amazing bonuses.
But only one ballistic amount. It's like, okay.
Yeah. We have at least got the size comparisons, and I don't know. It looks like an easier target than almost all the other 30-tonners.
Well, the
Like
Arctic
its
Cheetah.
torso,
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, its torsos it's like side torsos are huge big blocks, and the center torso is center block in the middle. It's like kind of easy to pick off its torsos, where its arms are these teeny little things off to the sides. And it's got really long legs compared to the others as well. It stands really tall.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the like compared to the Arctic Cheetah, and you could definitely notice the difference. Like on that, yeah, the blocks on the torsos, the legs are huge, which is going to be a problem because you better put some armor on those legs. At least with Arctic
But as with any light.
well, yeah,
30
well, yeah, but it does look like the hitbox is gonna be crappy on this one.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing with the Arctic Cheetah, at least to say, is, I mean, obviously the one they're showing here, missile hardpoints, which is extra bad, but the Arctic Cheetah has a problem with really large arms. But having really large arms means you have a really tiny torso,
Yeah.
which, if you're able to duck and weave, you can share a lot of damage onto your arms. Sadly, they've never given it survivability quirks on its arms, where most of its weapons are, so its weapons fall off really quickly, which gives it its fragile reputation.
Yep.
But the Arctic Cheetah, at least when you're shooting at it, you shield with one arm, it gets easily blown off. You shield with the other arm, it gets blown off. You lose the side torso. Like it can spread its damage really well. Whereas this Incubus, I'm not sure the arms are at all good as shields, or at least not that great as
It doesn't
shields.
look like it, though.
Torsos are big targets. So, the Arctic Cheetah, it loses its arms really quickly, but this one just loses its torsos really quickly, which it's probably not as good an idea.
Yeah, I'm like we'll see like on patch day when it comes out to see how well it does.
See.
Well, it's just like the Uzil, like if it becomes a problem, they'll go ahead and fix it and go ahead and add like structure points or something like that, to the torsos.
Yeah. And its hard points, as we sort of have discussed before, it's usually just energy with ballistic, mostly the same across the board. You can sort of, do better ballistic builds already on other mechs. Many other clan mechs available. Energy builds, you can somewhat already do that plenty on the Cheetah. The Cheetah has ECM. The biggest bonus this thing has, I guess, at least, is it is a battle mech, so you can, really fiddle around with the tonnage and, make it your own build. So yeah, it has at least variety in builds, but it's just that shape and hard points aren't that inspirational. Agility wise, it is slightly better than the Arctic Cheetah, so it's somewhat in line with the Mistlinks, I think.
What's the max rating for the Arctic Cheetah?
The Arctic Cheetah has a fixed engine, which means it goes that regular speed. Let me just. Arctic Cheetah is stuck with a 240 engine because clans are smart, and the 245 engine weighs exactly the same amount.
Oh yeah, that's how smart they are.
I mean, the Incubus starts with the XL270.
Yeah.
That isn't actually the same weight as other. Yeah. Okay, good.
Like with a max of 285, so it goes 146.8. So yeah.
Yeah, you can go much faster with this 30-tonner. It's one of the fastest clan 30-tonners, I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's
obviously, though, if you really want to go fast in a clan light mech, the Jenner can fit like a 315 engine.
That's quick,
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Like we'll see when it comes out on patch day how well it does. I mean, it's been kind of cool. They've been actually doing some lighter package mechs for $15. You get standard pack and stuff like that for the lighter mechs. So it's been good they're doing this for the lighter mechs. A lot of people like using light mechs.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. It will probably be there, a bit like most of the 30-tonners. The clear standout of all the 30-tonners, at least in my opinion, is usually sort of been the Irby, because that thing has a crazy amount of armor.
Plus, it's cool.
Yeah, it's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
But just compared to the others, like if you just the amount of armor Irby has compared to Osiris is astounding.
Oh yeah.
Sure, you're limited in your engine size, but that just means you put on a big gun.
Yep, that's true. That's all you got to do, man.
And yeah.
Or the mini Atlas, that's what we call it.
Okay. All right. So next thing, this patch doesn't really change much. I was hoping they would reel back a little bit on the lock-on weapons changes, but it seems like a lot of those nerfs are here to stay. Sadly, that it is what it is. It's not very much in this month's patch.
Yeah.
Next month, though, they have outlined they've done the PTSs. They've with their balance changes with regards to energy weapons, and I think they're looking towards doing that. They posted it on the forums, a roadmap, basically outlining all their thoughts and the numbers that they're looking to do in the future.
It's kind of hard.
Alpha balance.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to find too, by the way.
As ever with the forums, at least from my perspective. Particularly since, I would love to be able to just sort of search that search bar and find relevant terms. But if you search with terms like mech, atlas, urban mech, you find nothing.
Or names, basically the whole search bar is broken. Basically they got to fix that, because like sometimes I want to search like certain topics, it does nothing. It does nothing whatsoever. And with this, it'd be nice to actually alpha balance PTS system, and then you can search everything. It's here's everything you need to go look at. They don't have that like anymore.
The best search bar for the forums at Google.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that's sad. Oh man.
Okay. All right. So we've been going for a while, so let's not take too long on this. But obviously this is what they've been testing in the PTS. They wanted to try and tail back the overperformance of Clan Laser Vomit, as we sort of saw, at least when we played yesterday on Friday. When we played Friday theme night, we did all Laser Vomit mix, and we just steamrolled the competition.
Oh my god!
Match after match after match, because we're playing meta for a change.
Yeah. And not just let's slap something on and go like, we're all heavy mechs on the light mech. We're all heavy PPC cannons. We actually did pretty good. It was fun.
So the final values, at least, what they've wrote up on this roadmap, what they're planning is to change the base heat level from 30 to 45. So 50%, 50% more heat for your mechs to play around with as a base level.
I don't know if that's a good idea, though, to tell you the truth, because we just like you talked about, we steamrolled with laser mechs, and that's gonna make it even worse for people.
Well, it's a funny one, at least, because they're also changing the bonus heat capacity you get from single heat sinks and double heat sinks. So doubles used to give you 1.5 extra heat capacity. So what would happen before is you have 30 base heat, you have 10 double heat sinks, minimum. That means you go up to 45 base heat.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, true.
With this though,
whether increasing, just
45 base, and then you add 10 times 0.5, so you go up to 50 base heat. So now you have slightly more base heat to play with if you have just 10 heat sinks. If you had 20 heat sinks, you would have, that 45 plus another 15, so 60 heat to play with. Now you'll have 55. So, for the most part, it's just sort of juggling the numbers around. If you had mechs with large numbers of heat sinks, on average, they are not having as much capacity as they used to.
No.
Is basically how it works. Funnily enough, at least single heat sinks give 0.85. So they're like 50% more extra heat capacity per heat sink. So singles can actually get you to a very high heat capacity nowadays, and they're starting at 45 rather than 30. So it almost does it's what I suggested, where singles give you more capacity whereas doubles give you more dissipation, is slightly what they're doing here.
Yeah, it looks like.
But on the dissipation front, doubles are going from 0.15 heat dissipated per second to 0.22 heat dissipated per second. So it's more than 33% extra heat dissipation, like 35, 37% or so. This means, on average, like mechs have slightly less capacity, maybe, though mostly the same, and dissipation they have more to play with.
So do you think the grasshopper that we always make with single heat sinks, that's going to be even better or worse now?
So yeah, I have a grasshopper called the Oldbob, and
Thank you.
50 single heat sinks. It has an insane dissipation and capacity. And I can alpha strike with all 8 medium lasers over and over again, and it takes a while to heat up. With this, its capacity is slightly pulled back a bit. I don't know. It mostly as I said, it's sort of fiddling with the numbers. On average, mechs have more dissipation now. Is the biggest takeaway. Capacity is a little bit down, and dissipation is up.
Well, basically, you also just use a mana potion to have that going on, because by the time you actually do 8 medium lasers and heat up that much, mana potion down, fire a little bit more. By the time you actually get back up again, the second mana potion will actually be going. We'll be ready to use that again. So you actually can alpha strike like crazy with that mech now.
Yeah. Because the heat sinks still boost your capacity. It means more heat sinks still do help with your ability to, your total amount of heat you have to play with, basically.
Yeah.
And singles still sort of have a place because they're only a little sort of behind. At least when used in mass, they bring a lot of capacity and dissipation to the table. Anyway, the whole purpose of the PTS and all this was to rein in Clan Laser Vomit, and these heat changes don't do that, or at least ostensibly don't actually change things, because a Laser Vomit mech, the more heat it has to play with, which is A, its capacity, and B, its dissipation. Well, its capacity is slightly knocked on the head, but its dissipation is receiving a big buff.
Yeah.
So, overall, actually, Laser Vomit mechs could be argued as becoming more consistent over time. That, as it is right now, you have a lot of capacity, but not necessarily the dissipation to keep up with it. So you fire lots of alpha strikes, and then you're stuck at heat cap, and your damage over time really suffers for a while. You have to, pull away from the fight, cool down, wait for the bar to go down and get back into the fray.
Yeah.
With more dissipation, it means you're more consistent, which means it's actually harder to push down these laser vomit mechs a bit, because they're able to just keep throwing shots out because they're just dumping heat like crazy. So overall, at least, they have slightly less heat to play with one way, but dissipation is actually way more valuable than capacity. If you have enough dissipation, it doesn't matter that, if you're alpha strike, as long as it's within 100%, you don't overheat from it, and you dissipate it all when you fire again, you're fine. So more dissipation means at least, these more bursty build. I mean, what it does hurt with less capacity is those really big burst builds. Like if you try and put the biggest alpha together and fire it all in one go, you have less capacity to play with, you overheat more. You'll want just a big alphas that also have good dissipation.
Yeah, well, kind of like beast build, basically. You couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah. So overall, at least it's an interesting change, but it's mostly sort of fiddling around with numbers and not really changing things, and in fact, perhaps making Clan Laser Vomit even more powerful, at least within this thing. I will say, though, I am a favor of simplifying the game in terms of explaining heat mechanics. Because, before, what happened was heat sinks that were in the engine and outside the engine were different, which meant engines that had less than 10 heat sinks to start with had external heat sinks, which meant urban mechs had to get a dissipation buff because their external heat sinks weren't as good. They didn't have the same baseline heat stats as other mechs, just due to the fact they were stuck with a small engine. Now all heat sinks are the same. All heat sinks contribute the same, whether they're internal, external, whatever. That really helps make things so much simpler.
Basically what he's talking about that is like having a wiki page. Like I know No Guts and Galaxy were trying to do that for a little bit, but it became overwhelming of different changes that happen throughout the game to explain to new players, hey, this is how heat sinks works, this is how omnipods works, this is how this works, and they couldn't keep up with the changes. And so, if they had one dedicated person doing this, just the final changes, this will help out so many people in designing their mechs to be a little bit better instead of just popping stuff in, go, oh, I think this looks cool. It will just be a lot better for the overall population's quality of life, saying, okay, I read this paragraph about how heat sinks work on the webpage, or have some wiki page or something like that to explain exactly how this thing works. Because like you just talked now, I'm sure a lot of people glazed over, basically basically when they hear this, they're going to, what the hell is he talking about? And with, basically if they had some type of page or something like that, it would be so much easier for people to understand.
Yeah. Right now in the game, for example, if you have an XL250, 10 heat sinks in the engine, you would assume that has like, if you have 20 heat sinks, that should be double the dissipation.
Yeah.
But as it is right now, it isn't, because those extra 10 heat sinks aren't as good as the first 10 you start with. And there's also the question of, if you got those really big engines where you could put heat sinks in the engine, there was the question of how good those were, because they count as internals as well sometimes as well, but we're not sure if they do anymore.
Oh,
So
God, you're
it's
right
like,
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone says they have 20 heat sinks, it's like, okay, so how many are in the engine? This is really important to figure out your actual dissipation. And it was just a nightmare sometimes, sort of trying to explain, sometimes like the first 10 heat sinks were really, really good. So, if you could build around that, you actually shouldn't be trying to build as many heat sinks as possible. Now, heat sinks are just the same, or however many you've got. If you've got 10, if you have 12 heat sinks, it's 20% better than 10 heat sinks.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. I don't have to ask you questions or like how many engines are out, how many heat sinks are in the engine or outside the engine. And now let me write down all the numbers and calculate it for you. So I'm just happy about that change. But we'll see how all these heat changes pan out in the end. Who knows? But more dissipation in the end just means everyone is able to chuck out more damage, and the heat bar, somewhat oddly enough, becomes less relevant, because dissipation is way more powerful, and it's taken quite a bit of a buff, I think, in this proposed change.
True. And there's some other issues too. Light engines and Clan XLs.
Naturally, by slightly changing the numbers, they're saying, oh, we need to look at how heat is changed when we do if you have an XL or light engine, you lose a side torso. We don't know how they'll actually fiddle that around, but all of these heat mechanics obviously play into one another. So stealth armor, flamers, losing a side torso with an engine part in there, all of those things will somewhat have to change when capacity and dissipation have been fiddled around, like with this. They are also proposing to do a fair number of weapon changes. So large lasers, so ER larges for Inner Sphere and Clan regular ER larges are getting extra heat and more and a damage reduction.
Yep.
I'm not sure how I feel about this, at least in the sense that I don't necessarily think of the Inner Sphere ER large laser as a big offender. In fact, I hardly ever see it.
I use it a couple times, depending on my heat. Like normally, if I'm really heat crappy, neutral, basically, I'll go ahead and use large lasers, instead of the ER larges, but just all depends. But the ER large lasers for the clans are being reduced, which kind of, I don't know, the damage reduction for that.
Increases. I mean, the issue with the large lasers is they can be very flexible. Then again, I mean, that's the problem with MRMs, that they reach out to 550 meters range. They're relatively lightweight and cool, relative to lasers. And you can use them in a brawl, you can use them at a range, you just spam missiles towards the enemy and do plenty of damage.
Yeah.
Larges, though, have the problem of being lasers. Obviously, they're pinpoint. You can focus someone's CT down if you bring a lot of large lasers. I don't think, I don't know, I don't think, Clan or Inner Sphere ER larges are in a bad spot at the moment. In fact, I hardly see them sort of really being used.
The Clan ER larges I do see most of the time is actually the heavy ones, especially with the Hellbringers, with the two heavy larges and then 4 ER mediums. Yeah. That's what I normally see all the time. But I actually agree with you on that. I don't see why they should have changed that, though. It doesn't really make any sense.
I think part of it is possibly preempting the switchover, because the big offenders, in my opinion, was Clan regular medium and Clan heavy large lasers, giving the huge amount of damage per ton.
Yeah.
And both of those are getting just a reduction in damage, plain and simple, along with Clan medium pulse lasers for some sad reason.
Oh yeah.
So each of your Clan medium or medium pulse lasers are doing 0.5 damage less. Which does actually kind of suck, since you're still paying the same amount of heat and still spending the same amount of time to pump out all that damage. And Clan heavy larges are losing 2 damage. They're still pretty damn painful.
Yep. 16 points, man.
But this does mean, that Clan Laser Vomit Hellbringer we're talking about, it's losing 4 damage with its heavy larges and 2 damage with its mediums. So it's losing 6 damage to its alpha strength potential, and it's still generating the same amount of heat.
Yep, and also time on target as well too. Because 9 times out of 10, as soon as we get hit by laser, I'm actually torso twisting like crazy. So it's going to reduce the damage like even more on pinpoint scale.
Less damage per tick, because
Yeah.
obviously there's less damage
Yeah.
it's doing overall. So it helps with spreading the damage.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so these changes to damage done by clan lasers is actually going to nerf them a little bit. So this is a step in the right direction. It's a lot less ambivalent, kind of ambiguous than the the heat changes from before.
Yeah.
So this will take it down a peg, and yeah, they were overperforming and they do sort of need a nerf, and I don't mind these small damage reductions. It's a lot better than the wide sweeping changes they were doing before.
Oh,
That
God.
got very...
From like 2 to 1, that was crazy. I don't know what the hell they're thinking on that one or smoking. That was crazy.
Well, it's just that they're changing the durations, the heats, the damages, everything. Like, and it's just like, the numbers are everywhere.
Exactly. Mobility changes? Scaling?
This is mostly like increasing things for the mechs that are already coming in this September patch.
Yeah.
The next part though, quirk changes. This is them what they tested in the PTS. They said we're looking at certain mechs like Inner Sphere mechs with durability quirks, and we're looking to tone those down.
Anticipation for the 250 max engine rating. So yeah.
Quirk changes.
Yeah.
And they're saying stuff like, at least I remember the PTS, obviously, mechs like the Bushwhacker have a huge amount of survival, and they have good shape. So they're really good medium mechs. So they're going to knock that down a peg, along with a whole bunch of other Inner Sphere mechs, because they feel like, oh no, well, Clan have lost that Meta Hellbringer laser vomit mech has lost 6 damage, and now it just can't kill. And there's catapults and other invincible machines on the Inner Sphere side.
Well, I mean, last night, same thing though. Even if the damage got reduced down by 2 points for all our weapons, no matter what it is, we still, with that type of meta scale, we would have just killed everyone because we just focus targets. So, I don't think it really makes a big difference on group play, but on quick play, I think this is going to be a major thing for a lot of people to understand about how to actually work your laser vomits and everything.
The reduction of the damage helps with just the sheer power that these things brought at range. That they had a very good poke game.
Yeah.
Now their poke isn't so good. That reins the clan laser vomits in. The issue, at least, is what mechs and how much you are reducing the survivability on the Inner Sphere side. Because Inner Sphere, a lot of these mechs don't have necessarily the huge alphas like Clan can throw together with their laser vomit. And they need to be able to stay on the front lines and use their damage over time to get work done. A lot of Bushwhacker builds aren't necessarily burst builds. A lot of them damage over time. They use SRMs, racks, LB10s, and the like. So they are a very good mech. They're very tanky, very good shape, and that allows them to stay in the fight and do damage over time. And they are somewhat outperforming a lot of other 55 tonners. That is true. But again, at least what I said with the Piranha, what you're doing is saying, oh, some of these mechs are good. Some of these mechs are fun. Let's nerf them. Rather than buff those that aren't performing so well. Like the Bushwhacker, I'm not sure. The one with 6 missile hardpoints can be really bursty, I guess, and really tanky. But for the most part, an extra few hit points that the Bushwhacker gets does make it tanky, but it's only a few extra hit points.
Overall, the Bushwhacker is one of the top performers, in the medium scale, though. I've done umpteen number of games where that thing is like, how in the hell did I live type thing. So, I could accept bringing that down for a little bit, because it is kind of really the best, almost one of the best medium mechs out there. So it's a good thing they're doing it. Because some of the clan mechs were complaining that this thing just outperforms everything that's out there. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they're doing this kind of stuff. They're actually really looking at the mechs and how quirks work for those mechs, and then also geometry for the hitboxes as well, which is good. It's always good to take a good look at the game as well.
You're Ricky from the Oldbobs.
It's the voice thing.
I think the ping is really bad on Discord right now.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. There you go.
All right.
Now it's fine.
Yeah, I think the Bushwhack is quite a step above, just like how Clan Laser Vomit was to some degree. So it does make sense to bring that down. But among the list of mechs that they were looking to bring down, some of those is just like, why? And I remember someone in this, later on in this post says, "Oh, in the Sphere Survival, my Cataphracts and Vindicators are just trampling over all the competition. Reduce Inner Sphere Survival."
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen them target things like the Orion, for example, or whatever for survival quirks. But when they're just being so vague and saying inner sphere is too tanky, and oh look at the catapult, it's impossible. It's just crazy how long it lives. And it's like, I'm at least worried, at least for a lot of these underperforming inner sphere mechs, like my beloved Vindicator 1R. It's already had enough nerfs. Stop nerfing my Vindicator 1R. At least that's my worry.
Oh God. So is that for the conclusion for the match for the PTS?
Yeah, so that's the October patch. To sum up, at least, they're changing how heat capacity works. Your heat sinks contribute a lot less, but you start with a lot more.
Yeah.
So your 10 heat sink mechs are actually going to have a lot more heat to play with. Dissipation is taking a huge buff as well. So your light mechs, for example, they get quite a bit more heat capacity, or at least a little bit more, and way more dissipation. So that's really nice. They're nerfing the damage on the main offenders of Clan Laser Vomit. Thank you for not punishing large pulse lasers for no reason.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Mobility increases. Maybe there'll be more in the future. Who knows? And inner sphere survival is possibly on the chopping block.
Yep, they're gonna take a good look at it. So it's good. They're gonna take a look at it. So cool. That was. Do you want to do the outro?
All right, that was the First Circuit Podcast, episode number 55. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me, Biter, and Old Bob.
Log.
See you all next time.
See you guys in Battlefield. Thank you for watching.